everyone, my name is Heather and welcome to the channel Bookables. Now, have you ever wanted to find books that are just quintessentially stepping into Stars Hollow? Well, I have some for you today. Whether you want to go to the local inn to converse and maybe eat some food there and get to know the people there, or whether you want to go to Luke's Diner and have some coffee or a hamburger, whatever it may be, whether you want to go to Weston's Bakery and have their amazing pies and their amazing bakery items, or say you want to go to Miss Patty's and learn some dances, or maybe Miss Kim's and buy some antiques. These books are quintessentially that. Books that feel like Stars Hollow, books that are set in small towns where everybody knows everybody's name. They have festivals and activities and are very seasonal vibes. These are your quintessential small town reads. So yes, I think we all kind of compare small town reads and always compare it to Stars Hollows, because when you think of small towns, especially like fictional small towns and ones we see on TV and movies, we always compare it to Stars Hollows because they have everything, okay? All festivals and summer bonanzas, and they even have like a thing to build a bridge where you can buy somebody's picnic basket and have lunch with them. They have all of the things. They decorate for every season. Everybody knows everybody. We always kind of compare it to Stars Hollow, okay? And honestly, every book that I've read that is set in a small town is always like blurb, like, just like Gilmore Girls, you know, because we all get that feeling, okay? So a lot of these books kind of feel like Stars Hollow. If you want books that kind of feels like stepping into Stars Hollow, these are the books for you. So first up, I have a series. That's right, a series, my friend. And that is the Lovelight Farms series by B.K. Borison. This series actually just concluded last year, and I'm very sad about it, but I love it so deeply. So the first one we have, and by the way, I love this series not only because it is a small town, but because each book is set in a season. I love it. So first up, we have Lovelight Farms. This one is obviously set during the holidays, right? In smack dab of winter. Very, very cute. Then we have the second one kind of at the very end of winter going into spring, in the Weeds, one of my favorites. Then we have one right at the height of summer, Mixed Signals, super cute. And then we have the fallish one, Business Casual. Now, all of these have intertwining characters, so I do recommend you read them in order because you get to see the whole picture of each character's evolution, things like that. And they are all set in the small town. I forget the small town's name, and I'm horrible. I want to say it's like Inglewild or something like that. Like Inglewood, Ingle, something like that. But either way, they're all set in a small town. This town even has like a gossip tree like phone line where they gossip about patrons and stuff like that. It's amazing. I love all of this. I would have to say my favorite in the series, number one, Lovelight Farms. If you just want an amazing holiday read, especially with the holidays coming up, this is the one for you. And I think my second favorite is probably the second one, In the Weeds. I really, really love this one. Either way, this series is just a phenomenal small town one. You will fall in love with each of these characters. You will get to know their backstory. You'll get to know other people in the town and what they do and things like that. It is just the quintessential and my favorite like small town read for sure. Next up, we have a very recent read that has been exploding with good reason because it's really good, and that is If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. Of course, the cover of this is literally like Stars Hollow. We even have a freaking town gazebo in the back. Okay, this looks like the town square. Like Luke's Diner is back there probably. Probably. This is set in 1997 in small town Vermont. We follow a character named Michelle who loses her mom and her husband all in one fell swoop. Her mom passes away and her husband's like, I'm divorcing you. He's horrible. And she decides to take over her mom's small inn in a very small town in Vermont during the burn loss. So this book is set from September to the end of December. And she's just taking over for a little bit till her sister can. But Michelle's not really built for hospitality. You know, she's not really warm and friendly. But there she meets her next door neighbor, Cliff, who is a single dad to two girls. And he's like, look, I'll tell you the lay of the land. I'll tell you all about this small town. I'll help you with hospitality and things like that in a friendship / relationship kind of forms. It is so adorable. This one, I think out of all the ones, is very much like Stars Hollow. They celebrate all the seasons. They have festivals and things like that. It is just straight up adorable. It is a little lengthy in my opinion because I just don't love long romances, but I love the vibes of this one. The fact that it was set in 1997, it's kind of very nostalgic to go back in a time before technology. I know, who would have thought? But I mean, in 1997, I was 9. So like, I kind of grew up in that last era before technology really boomed. And I'm forever grateful for that because like, My kids don't know a word with technology. I'm glad that I did. It's just a really beautiful small town book that just is just literally like Gilmore Girls. I mean, it even looks like Luke and Lorelai and maybe Paul Anka on the cover. Okay, like it's there. I have another one that is very much like Stars Hollow and Gilmore Girls. We have the Pumpkin Spice series, or the Dream Harbor series. That's right, the Dream Harbor series. So this series takes place in Dream Harbors. And this one, I will say, you don't have to read all of them. I don't think it's like that interconnected, at least to me, like the Lovelight Farms is. These, I think you could read each on its own, whether together, whatever you want to do. But either way, first up we have the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. These are all by Lori Gilmore. This is set in small town Dream Harbor, and each one is like kind of on a different strip of the land, if you will. Like each one is about a business, and I think there's even a map. Yes, you even get a map of the Dream Harbor, so you get to see exactly where each book is kind of going to be in the future and things like that. So the first one, we're set in like a Pumpkin Spice Cafe. They are spicy, I will say. The second one, I don't know where it's at, literally. I just had it, but it's the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. That one, I will say, the cover is very fallish, but it's set in the dead of summer. So in case you're looking for a very fallish one, that's not the one. And then we have her holiday one, the Christmas Tree Farm. This one obviously set on a Christmas tree farm. And then she has her newest one that's set in like kind of spring, summer, the Strawberry Patch Pancake House. And then she just released another one called the Gingerbread Bakery. So, I mean, girl is playing it up on the seasonal books, and I can't get mad at her because I eat those up. I'm a seasonal person. This isn't my favorite series, I'll say that. But I mean, if you just want kind of quintessential small town with some steaminess and some romance, it's a good series, especially if you're like, I say you want a book that's just very holiday-esque. This is a great one. Or say you want one that just feels like summer and springtime in a bottle, the Strawberry Patch Pancake House. So the seasonal vibes are there. The small town vibes are there. They have town meetings. They have festivals. You get the gist. They're adorable. It's not my favorite, but they're still adorable. Next up, I have another recent read. This is actually a young adult book, and that is Falling Like Leaves by Misty Wilson. I got this because the cover. I'm a sucker for any seasonal cover. We all know this. But this is about a character named Ellis who lives in the big city, and she's kind of like your typical New York teenager. She has a lot of ambition. She wants to go to college. She's interning. She's doing all the things. But then her parents inform her that they are separating, and she is having to move with her mom to this place called Bramble Falls, Connecticut, where her mom is from. And Ellis is like, I don't want to go to the small hick town, you know, like nobody, like, how am I going to do anything I want to do, like in New York? And her mom's like, you're going. And so she goes there, and then she runs into her friend that she knew when she was younger, Cooper. They had a lot of summers together where they hung out, but they kind of ghost each other, and now she sees him again. So it's all about her fitting in this small town and wondering if she can fit in because she's so different. And this is another book that is like, when I read it, I was like, it's a Stars Hollow, because it literally is. Like, it is just quintessential Stars Hollow. They have lots of like festivals and things like that. They decorate the town square. They do apple picking and things like that. It's just small town, and it's so adorable. I would love to go to Bramble Falls, Connecticut immediately. That would be amazing. But if you're looking for maybe not a spicy one, maybe just a young adult small town book, this is a great one. Next up, an older one I always recommend, but I feel like was really popular back in the day, but I don't hear anybody talk about it anymore, and that is Evvie Drake Starts Over by Linda Holmes. I love this book. It still remains one of my favorites. It's a quiet book. And what I mean by quiet is there's not a lot of plot. It's just mainly kind of your day-to-day life, very character-driven book. So this book is obviously about Evvie Drake. She is in a very loveless marriage. She is not happy. In fact, Evvie kind of wants to leave. And so the night she decides to just leave, she gets a knock on her door, and they inform her that her husband was in a car accident and he's gone. And she's like, crap. She is sad, but she's also like not that sad. I don't know how to explain it, but the whole town, because she lives in a very, very small town, feels very bad for her. They're like, you must be so sad. You must be in mourning. And Evie's like, I'm kind of not, but I have to play along with this because the whole town expects me to be sad. Does that make any sense? I don't know. But either way, there she meets this guy that is a professional baseball pitcher, and he has the yips, which means the guy can't pitch right now because it's all a mental thing. And so he needs somewhere to stay. So she's like, I'll rent out my other room for extra money. And so they kind of form a relationship. It's set in this very small town. I want to say it's like in Maine or something, very lobster because, you know, it's on like kind of Cape Side near the coast. I love that so much. Like they wear fisherman sweaters. It was like reading Dawson's Creek. And I was like, yes. I really enjoyed this one. If you just want a short, small town, kind of quieter book, I always will recommend this one. And we have another one of my favorite series, and that is the Rome, Kentucky series. Or when it, I don't know, Rome series? Yeah, by Sarah Adams. I'm very sad actually because the last book is coming out at the very end of this year. And I'm like, no, I don't want to say goodbye to this. But basically, this whole series follows each one of the Walker siblings. They live in Rome, Kentucky, which is a very small town where everybody knows everybody. They have a phone tree line. They all gossip. It's just adorable. So first up, we have one in Rome, which is about Noah, who is a brother full of sisters. He has 3 sisters, and poor guy's the only brother. The Walker parents died when they were very young, so he's kind of been the patriarch of the family. And there he meets a kind of a famous star, kind of like a la Taylor Swift. And she comes to this town and falls in love with the town. And maybe Noah, he owns a pie shop. It's adorable. Then we have my personal favorite in the series, and that is Practice Makes Perfect, which follows Annie, who is the florist in town. There she kind of maybe falls in love with Amelia's bodyguard. You get the deal. It's really cute. Then we have one that just came out, I think it was the beginning of this year, Beg, Borrow, or Steal. This one follows Emily Walker, who's a teacher that has kind of a love-hate relationship with a fellow teacher. They are just all so adorable. It's set in a small town. It's got the vibes. They're not very fallish, so in case you're like looking for fall books, I would say these are more kind of spring summery books in my opinion. But either way, the small town vibes check all the boxes. I want to go to this town. I want to go to Noah's pie shop. I want to go buy some flowers from Annie's florist. I want to live there. Okay. Last 2 books I have are very summery, but again, very small town vibes. So that's what I'm going to talk about because this whole video is small town reads. We have It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan, which I read earlier this year. Really enjoyed. This one is about a character named Jane who is she was a child star, but now she's kind of an executive producer. She's trying to get this movie up and running, but the studio's giving her some pushback. So she decides, hey, there's this guy I used to star in the show with that he's a big hit musician now. He's going to do the soundtrack. And the studio is like, okay, you can have the greenlit movie if you can get him to really agree. So she's like, crap. He didn't really agree. So there she runs into Dan, who's a cinematographer, and he's like, look, I know this famous musician is going to be at my hometown, and I forget where it's at, Long Island. And you can go with me and stay with my family, and we can try to convince him because I want this movie made too. So that's exactly what they do. This is like a small town. It's set in Long Island. They do all of the Long Island things like go to the beach, go get surf and turf, things like that. It is just adorable. A lot of people don't love this one by her, but I love it. It's my favorite. I love the small town feel. I think all of her books actually are set on Long Island. So if you want that feel, this one's got you covered. And the last one is one I read in summertime again, and that is Sounds Like Love by Ashley Poston. So this book is about a character named Joni who is a songwriter, and she's kind of in a slump, and so she goes back home to Outer Banks, which is very close to where I live, and it's small town to me because Outer Banks is small, you know, it's very small, like a lot, you know, all the places if you've been there, and I go there frequently, so I love the fact that it's set in OBX, which I don't feel like a lot of books are. And it's such a place that's near and dear to my heart. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's the point, because I live in Virginia, where if I see North Carolina plays, I'm like, they're not out-of-towners. They're just North Carolina. I'm sure they feel the same way when they see Virginia plays. So it's just how it is. But either way, it's set in Outer Banks. There she meets a guy, and they kind of can talk to each other in their head. It's not my favorite Ashley Poston book, but as far as small town vibes out of all of her books, this one's the most small town vibes, I think, and a great summer read at that. So in case you want to put this on your summer reads list for 2026, go ahead and do it. So there you have all the small town books that I have to talk about. A lot of them that I really love and adore, and I would recommend them. I would love to know some of your favorite small town reads. Please leave them in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.